Today I'm going to demonstrate a method of boiling water without using pots or pans. And what we're going to be doing is boiling it in a hole in the ground. And this is a rock hole. It's able to contain water. And to get it boiling, we're going to be using rocks and a campfire. So what I'm going to use are these. I'm going to call them hot rocks. I'm going to be placing them into the fire, getting them very hot, and then putting them into the water. And I've seen people do this before. They bring it to a simmer. We're going to bring it to a rolling boil, and not just for the functionality of being able to purify water, but I'm also going to go ahead and cook some of our chicken eggs down here. Because if you're in a survival situation and you come across nests, and you will depending on the time of year, you can go ahead and get the eggs out of that nest and you can boil them, and it's a pretty good method of preserving and getting the food that you need. As I place these rocks in, I've got two different sizes for a reason. Alright, these smaller rocks are really great. They hold some good heat and they're easy to maneuver. But as I place them in the water, they're going to lose their heat very quickly. And so it's a bit of a trade-off from the larger rocks. And the larger rocks take a little longer to heat, but they hold the heat. The only downside to the large rocks is that they're harder to maneuver, because once you put them into the water, you have to go ahead and take them out. So you need to be able to maneuver them out of the fire, into the water, out of the water, and potentially back in the fire. So whatever works for you, try it out, practice. But we're going to go ahead and put about half and half in here today. And you want to put those rocks in the hottest part of the fire. Alright, so our rocks are good and hot. We went ahead and added a little bit more wood on there. You want to get them extremely hot, once and done. You don't want to do this a second time. So these should be ready. At this time, you might want to go ahead and wear eye protection, because you're putting something very hot into cool water, and it could potentially explode. So you never know. Be careful. Safety first. I'm going to go ahead and use some tongs I've made, and I'm going to start transferring these smaller rocks into the fire. Now, if you were going to be drinking this water, sometimes I would go ahead and rinse it off just a little bit, the rock, get some of the ash off. But we're going to be boiling things today. Go ahead and set it in there, and it's going to be giving off its heat for about 30 seconds, depending on the size of rock. So while that's giving off the heat, I'm going to go ahead and keep on bringing rocks and putting them in, and I'm going to kind of keep track of which ones I put in first. So 1, 2, 3. As they start to time out, I'll go ahead and begin to replace them with hot rocks. Now, depending on how many rocks you have, usually for safety, I'll go ahead and set these rocks off to the side. Once you have water on them, I really would not advise putting them back in the fire to reheat them again. So put them off to the side, let them dry off. You can use them another day once they've got some of the water out. There's 2. Let me go ahead and pull these 2 out and show you what a large rock is capable of doing. The larger the rock, the more heat we have inside of it. Okay, so you can see some definite rolls there. But that's just local. We don't have all the water going yet. Let's keep on going. Get off some good heat. Now, if you wanted to boil less water, you definitely have this thing going a lot sooner. I think we're almost there. Alright, at this point, I'm going to go ahead and add my eggs. Now, until they really get boiling and they become hard-boiled, you want to be very careful with them. Make sure you don't crack them until they've got a little bit behind them. So with eggs, pretty much they say 3 minutes is a soft boil, 5 is over medium, and 8 minutes boiling is well. And so if you're doing the survival thing, you want to go for at least 8 minutes. It's not like you're going to ruin the meat inside of it. Heck, you can push it to 12 minutes because what you're doing here is pretty imprecise. Cooking too long is not going to hurt you. Now, if the eggshell actually breaks, that's going to be okay because this water's purified. So we got a little bit of ash deposits, a little bit of sand in here, but really what you're worried about is getting living contaminants inside, parasites, bacteria, and at this point, this is a sterile hole, and it's boiling pretty regular now. That's some hot water. You want to keep on changing rocks out. I know these things still have quite a bit of heat inside of them. Yeah. But with eggs, you really don't need to cook it slowly. So. There you go. Let's let that go for a couple minutes and we'll pull it out and see what we got. Alright, so it's been about 10 minutes continuous cook. And I'm pretty sure it's done. There's definitely not anything alive in there. Go ahead and roll the eggs out. Make yourself a tool or do it however you can without burning yourself. Most of these ground pits, you can probably just leave it for 10, 15, 20 minutes. And after those rocks are out of there, it'll start to cool down. So if you're not in a rush, you could just let it cool down. Alright, it's cooled down. Still a little warm. Let's see if we did something right here. So far, so good. It's a good looking hard-boiled egg. Now there's many primitive means that you can go to open up these eggs or rather to cook them. But boiling is one of those that you're going to have very little spoilage with. And if I was starving, I'd be a lot more careful and I'd go ahead and eat the flesh that's coming off on some of these pieces. You could also, if you have some cool water that is fresh and uncontaminated, as you would in a kitchen, you can go ahead and put these in that cool water and it'll allow that egg to separate even better. So, pull that back. I know I'm being wasteful, guys. Y'all can judge me in the comments below. But there you go. Completely cooked all the way through. So I'd say that's a pretty good success. We went ahead and boiled water in the ground so you can purify water. Went ahead and boiled some hard-boiled eggs, so I've got a little bit of lunch. And got to do it in the outdoors. But guys, like and subscribe, and as always, till next time.